I had a little extra room tonight, and
I particularly enjoyed the part where he was bored the last 2 games and still led the field.
I wasn't bored. But yeah, actually, I watched a little bowl TV this morning. Just kind of, I woke up pretty early, like just to see the first initial squad. Well, you were A squad, right?
A squad.
Yeah. I felt like your squad had a pretty low, like overall rev rate too. So it didn't really.
Yeah.
You know what it felt like?
Yeah, no, I agree. No, you're right. Yeah, speaking to Sean, I feel like we've got the hardest deal when it comes to like the last day, because we follow C squad's burn,
Which is a high.
you on C squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we follow the high rev rate guys going into our burn squad. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It always depends on where everyone starts.
Exactly.
You know, the higher rev guys want to stay further right for longer, just because there's a good look there. They can get real nice later on.
Oh yeah.
If we move in a little early, it gets a little messy. But I was actually shocked when I was bowling. I was shocked that they gave us so much hook right.
Yeah. That was. I feel like that was a urethane killer. I guess that was what they were trying to do. I think the length and the stuff like that was trying to force us not to get as far left as quickly, like stop us getting from the ball return deal.
Look, anytime that you have a burn squad, anytime,
Yeah.
the only logical way to keep the players from moving left too quick is to make them a little nice from the right.
Right. Yeah.
Because every time they try to, even if you lengthen the pattern, but you shut the gutter out or you shut outside of 6, 7, 8, it's all gone. Well, you and we're not going to try and develop it. If it's not there, we're just going to go in.
Yeah.
And so if you don't want anyone to move in for the burn squad where it's trashed and it's impossible to play, well, you've got to keep everyone further right. And how do you do that? Give them the nut.
Nuts. Yeah. Anything that's further right than say 9, then
Let them play.
Yeah.
Let it play.
Yeah.
Watch everyone play it. And then that's 2 or 3 games where they haven't crept inside of 15. Now we can move in. And then game 4, 5, we're at 20. Well, you got 5 more games for the burn. There's still half a lane left.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, you know, it makes sense.
No, it
But
does.
Richie's 50 over for the tournament, which is right where it's right like in the sneaking distance. It's like crawling in the tall grass.
Yeah, I'm peeking my head over the fence. I'm kind of like, all right, guys, you know, give me a couple more games. I'll try and get there. You know.
So keep an eye out for that Richie Teeth's name to go up the leaderboard. But
I hope so. Yeah. No.
get stuck into it.
Will do.
I'm gonna have my coffee and my bagel.
Sounds good.
Alrighty then, on the way to the bowl for my first squad at the Masters, and as expected, predicted, the scoring pace from the first 2 squads is considerably higher than it has been for the last few Masters, and that's okay, because that means we can get to the pocket a little easier. So if you get the right ball in your hand, it looks like you can really load up on some strikes. My strategy may be changing ever so slightly based on the way the first squad in particular played them. I was up a little earlier in the morning, which I was telling Richie about. I was watching Bowl TV, which is the live streaming service, and I was just kind of watching and seeing. And then after talking to Richie, you know, he definitely felt like the lanes blew up in the fronts much faster than they did in the practice session. But when he was talking about the separation, meaning when he moved left and tried to create shape, he found the consistency of ball motion to be really odd. And that to me, it's not worrying, it's just good to know, because that's something that I like to do. I like to create separation, I like to move my feet left, and I like to throw it right. And so if there's going to be some inconsistency down lane, that'll allow me to probably choose bowling balls that are a little smoother, less aggressive at the end of the pattern. So I think my strategy today is probably to be just a little bit smarter. Is I'm going to play them straight to start with, or straighter than normal. But when it's time to create that move left, I think I'm probably going to stay with something that's a little smoother down lane. Now, if I throw those smoother cover, smoother rolling bowling balls, and it just looks like what my squad is experiencing is not the same as what Richie's was, well, then I can go to a more aggressive ball down lane, like a Fate or an RSTX2. But I just got to be a little bit smarter and be really watchful of my bowling ball, and not get too concerned about what I saw in practice, which I never really do anyway, but it's always good to remind yourself, don't fall for that trap. So we're nearly there. Don't worry, you'll see me bowl a lot of shots today. I want to strike for you a lot, so I'm going to strike for you a lot.
You're at the 2023 USBC Masters.
Okay, game one is about to start. Feel good. I'm always nervous before I start every event, so I feel it now. Got to try to get off to a good start. Let those nerves calm down. Best way to calm down the nerves, throw the front five. So see if we can do that. But until then, we'll just take some big breaths. I feel like I've got a couple of good looks out on the lane. So I'll go with one now, see how it goes, and if we need to make a move, we will. Remember when I said the easiest thing to get rid of your nerves is a 5-bagger? Look up at the score. Look, 5-bagger. Start. It's a good start. The ball is definitely shaping the way that I want to see it. The key is going to be, I think, from here on in, speed control. If you throw it a little faster than you want, the ball doesn't quite shape off the end of the pattern, and you can also miss the head pin to the right. So the next game, I'm going to make sure my speed is still dialed down. My hand is still really aggressive. We'll use that phase 2 again, see if it works. So good start, 250 to 70, caught a couple of breaks. We've made the flip down to the lower end of the house, and this end is apparently hooking a little more, but I did get told that there was a little urethane thrown on this pair. So we'll see what happens. But I think I'm gonna have to make a little move in the front part of the lane but I'm also going to have to probably make a change with my hand. Just because of that urethane, it might be a little bit slower down lane. So we'll throw a couple of good shots and we'll see what happens and make a move if we need to. Alright, so we have a game to go. Game 3 was good with a little 270. And then we moved to the next pair and it's definitely seen a lot more transition, a lot more early hook, a lot smoother down lane. So as we head into the final game, we'll make another ball change, another lane play change. But we did all the hard work in the first 4 games, so now we just need to be smart, be a little safer. We don't have to take too much of a risk here. And so I'll try one more ball. If that doesn't look great, I'll probably just go back to what I was doing and try and get to 200 and call it a night. So, a good night on the lanes. 1,264 pins for 5 games, 264 over. Definitely saw them pretty clearly, but I think what I was most happy about was the way I was able to get the ball going through the pins and just the consistency off my hand. I missed a couple down lane, but because I was so clean off my hand, I had a little extra room tonight, and
I particularly enjoyed the part where he was bored the last 2 games and still led the field.
I wasn't bored. But it's nice to be leading after the first day, which is in contrast to my TOC start, slightly different. And so tonight will be a good night's sleep. And then we come back for the lunchtime squad. But I went through pretty much all of my equipment too. Started off with the phases, then went into a reality check, went into a RSTX2, and then finished off with the Fate. So it's nice to go through your transition of equipment, see it right, execute well. Good night. Good night.